I'm doing great, thank you.
All right, I just need your guys' attention for 5 minutes max. I just made a small PowerPoint so we can all align on what we're doing a bit better. So I think the direction and goals are much more kind of clear. You can judge my PowerPoint skills how you want, but the last time I used these things was maybe 15 years ago, so it might be a bit scuffed. All right, so these are the 8 focus points that we're working on right now, main ones. And we've been touching on some of them a bit, but we haven't gone through a lot of them. So the first thing we've been doing is drafting. I think fearless drafting we need to get a little bit better at. Communication we've been working on, level 1 and lane swaps we've been talking about a lot. Objective setups and how we cross map, we touched on a little bit. Something we haven't really talked about much is like how we want to team fight. We haven't really looked at team fights and reviewed them much and gone through team fight theory or tempo awareness and how we play the map based on tempo situations. We'll go to that in a sec. So those are the 2 things that we're going to look at next week. I put patience at the bottom because I do feel like sometimes we are a little bit stressed as a team, so we can take it a little bit slower. In my opinion, and I think what I've learned, if you guys agree or not, the game, even if we're getting outscaled, feels like they don't really outscale until very late into the game these days. Doesn't really feel like the whole scaling aspect kicks in until about 25, 30 minutes plus. And there's a lot to play for regardless of the team scaling. In the bottom right, I put a few things we've been working on as well. So we've been talking about grubs and Atkan a bit. We've been talking about plants and hitting those plants and making sure we don't forget. And we've talked a little bit about overloading sides and escorting mages from side. But those are the 8 main points we're going to work on. And 2 of them we'll talk about a little bit later. That's the one I wasn't supposed to leak.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, it doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter now. Let's go back. It's on the screen. All right, here's the draft stuff we've been working on for the last week. On the bottom left, I put some overlaps of champions we're playing against.
You're lagging
or
a bit, or
seen
is
in
it just
pro
me?
play.
Just you.
Hello.
Okay, maybe my Discord is going
It's
crazy.
not lagging
Yeah, fine for me.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
All good, Mark?
Yeah.
On the bottom left, I put champs that either we don't play or we choose not to play, that we see played against us or played in pro play. Now, I'm not saying we need to play all of these champs in this list. What I'm saying is we need to look at champs to either replace these champs or maybe kind of evaluate them a bit differently when it comes to fearless draft specifically. So in the bottom right, I put Thursday to do. I think we should have a talk about drafting and comps for best of 3 fearless and to how we can make draft easier. Whether that's Velia playing Maokai or maybe one of these champs in the top or mid list being added to, a game 3 or game 4. Figuring out where we rate these champions based on how far we are in the fearless, Does some of these champs become useful if we go later on in fearless? Probably yes, maybe no, but let's talk about it and align better on how we draft for fearless. So Thursday we're going to have that talk. But these are the champs on screen that we've practiced and we're going to focus on for the best of ones. All right, these are the things we've been working on. Communication, okay? For me, there's 3 things in communication, and try to follow along as best you can. If you have any questions, let me know. There's confirming information, there's planning, and then there's decisions, okay? So the things we've been working on is making sure people know what's going on. Baus, we're going to go for bot tier 2, they could cross-map you, yeah? Making sure Baus knows, making sure Velia, we're locking with Rekkles where we're going. Just confirming shit, yeah? Keep that up. The next thing is planning. Nemesis has been good at this. We've talked about this a lot. If you're lost or you don't know what's happening or you don't know what to do or we're a bit lost on what we're doing as a team, someone needs to ask this question. What's the plan? Where are we going? What are we playing for? And also, when it comes to planning, if you hear someone making a plan, but you have information that could hurt that plan, say it. If they're saying they want to dive bot Baus and you have TP, or they have TP and you don't, tell them. Tell them that a TP could come in. Tell them that a TP situation. Where's top lane? Shit like that, yeah? And then decisiveness. If we're making a call, follow it. If we're playing to dive, we're diving. If we're playing to steal the Baron, we're stealing the Baron. If we're playing for fight after the objective, we're playing for the fight. When a plan is made, just follow the plan. I don't want to hear like, let's fake pressure them off bot tower, are we diving? And then just one person pulls out the dive. Like we're going to dive 3 men if we're doing a bot dive and it fucks up, okay, we're just going to go for it. So these are the 3 communication things, yeah? Confirming, planning, and deciding. So I think these 3 things need to continue. We've talked a lot about lane swaps, and there's a bit of text here, but I want to simplify lane swaps for us. Because I feel like lane swaps we've had like hits or misses with. But I feel like these conditions just need to be met a bit better. And when we approach games, we just need to think about these things, yeah? The first thing I thought was, are we swapping or can they swap? right? In this top right image, they have Varus Renata into Corky Poppy. Red alert, they're probably going to swap this Corky Poppy. So what are we going to do about it? That's the thing. The second step then is, are we stronger level 1? Can we beat them 5v5 level 1? That means, do we want to deep ward and try and force the lanes if we're Varus Renata? Make it so we can play into the Corky Poppy? Or do we not win 1v1? Level 1, sorry. Then we're going to have to 50-50. And then I want us to think about jungle. If they're swapping, is our jungler going to get fucked? How can we ward so our jungler doesn't get fucked? How can we put entrance ramp wards or lean to Valia's side so he doesn't lose like 3 camps or get pushed out? And then we have to think about, are we going to dive them or are we going to cover? Are we going to dive the enemy top? It's Cassante, maybe not if we're Varus Renata. Or do we need to cover Ambessa? Probably need to cover Ambessa. So we need to talk about when are we going to base and how are we going to cover. And then the last step is, we've based from our lane swap. Where's our bot lane going? Do you want to go into the Cassante again? Or would you rather match Corky Poppy? Can we keep fucking their top? Or do we just want to match? So lane swaps are a bit complicated. There's thousands of different outcomes that can happen. And we'll talk about them a bit as the scrims go on. But I just want us to follow these kind of steps. Can they swap? Can we do something about it? What are we doing for our jungler? How are we going to play the swap? That's it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy? Cool.
Happy.
Couple other things. I just want us to follow these pointers for objectives, right? I feel like some of our objectives are clean, but some of them are quite messy. But the 5 simple steps for me for objectives is, the objective is spawning. Do I need a base? Don't fucking get cancelled on that base. The second thing, are the waves good? The third thing is, can we get some vision after we push these fucking waves in? The fourth thing is, are they contesting or are they going to cross map so we know what we're doing on the other side? And the fifth thing is, what are we doing about it? Are we going to finish this? Are they going to contest? Are we going to turn? That's just the 5 simple steps. I don't want us to start Drake with no waves pushed. I don't want us to start Nash with no vision. I don't want us to start fucking Atakan when 80's on 2k gold. So let's just make sure we base, push, ward, check for cross maps, and decide. And when it comes to us contesting objectives, make sure we're thinking about how we're contesting them. If it's Atakan, are we going through bot? If it's Drake, are we going through bot? Contest through side, maybe? And then how are we contesting? This is the communication thing, right? Are you going to play for steal, for fight? Do you want to fuck their tempo? Do you want to just give it and we'll cross map? I just want us to be more decisive on what we're doing when it comes to objective setups and when we're contesting. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, coach.
Yep.
And these are the things we'll talk about later. These 2 things are the next 2 things we're going to be looking at. It's like tempo awareness, right? I feel like we've been getting cancelled on bases a lot, and that's really hurting us. And I feel like on this patch, it hurts you even more than it did before if you get cancelled on a base, especially in lane swaps. It really fucks us. Whether we're greeting for a wave or getting cancelled, really think about where we're basing. Mismatching jungle support at a base, I really want you guys on the same side. Yeah, we've been talking about it a bit, but make sure we're playing jungle support the same plan. We need to make sure we're also basing on the same timers. I don't want, yesterday, as much as we could have pushed for that mid tower, Crowny's on 2k gold. We have side push looking for a mid play. Crowny wants the base. All right. Can he just stay and we force? Or is he basing and we're using this tempo on side to just hold the game, Just play according to how the game's going. If someone's tempo's fucked, their tempo's fucked. You can't go in 4v5 and you can't force that Baron. If all your tempo's good, let's fucking make something happen. Let's go 4-man to one side and do something. But yeah, stalling for power spikes is also fine if we want to avoid fights or contests. There's no reason to just drop everything on the map and drop all our tempo. If the enemy team's tempo is fucked, if you cancel their base on a lane swap, just make sure we can abuse it. You know how Crowny, they were top with Zeri or something and Baus died on Volibear and you TP'd as Ezreal? Remember that?
Yep.
On top?
Yep.
They're fucked, right? Their tempo's completely cooked. They have to base, just jail them like hell. I like that. We need to make sure we abuse them when they fuck their tempo. But in summary, I just want us all to be on the same page moving forwards. Today, we're going to do good planning, good objectives, and good communication, yeah? I don't want games to be like, if we lose a 2v2, or if we fuck up mid-jungle, or if we get solo killed top 3 times, or whatever. I don't want the game to just spiral out of control. I don't want it to turn into a fucking clown house with 30 kills just because we fucked up the early game. Like, we can slow games down at 1 to 2k gold depths. It's fine. And when it comes to Thursday onwards, we're going to focus more on team fights, using our tempo and using like power spikes to make sure we're like fighting on the same timers. And we're going to continue talking about the things we're already talking about. We're going to keep discussing level 1s and lane swaps and all that stuff, but we're not going to spend as much time on it as we have this week. So that's the goals for today. Play well, keep up the same shit. Let's get these best of 1s out of the way. And then on Thursday, let's figure out fearless stuff and work on some new shit. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds
Alright.
good, coach.
Yes.
Is it all
Holy.
gonna be on the
Stuff.
exam later this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to fail you if you don't get everything right.
This coach be
Shit.
smurfing.
And if you're failed, you're kicked. We're going to go through this
Fuck.
again another time just to make sure we're all happy. But please, 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 communication and setup and plans. That's all I want, yeah?
Lobby.
Nice presentation, Mark.
Thank you. Yeah, this was actually really good. Did you do this yesterday? Caedrel?
I did it this morning.